second just in the
Is the Pentagon? Yes. Yeah.
Yes, sir, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Slack. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Great. Thanks.
Dimineața. Dimineața, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you again. Have a successful day.
It will be successful, actually. Please let's check that. Enjoy the evening.
Thank you. It was very, very good. Good program, good music, good eat.
Yes, we'll do the same tonight. Welcome, Mr. Minister. Welcome. Please listen.
Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. E bine, vezi ce bine e că ăla lucrează pe stânga. Nu pot,
Te pup! Ne vedem mai încolo.
Hello, dear colleague.
Hello.
We've got a very tough week. Congratulations for the position. Yes, I hope so. So, when from meeting the other friends, with the group are like-minded.
Yes, I got everyone from 11:20.
Yes.
Let's take a picture.
Yes.
morning. Good morning. How are you? Me too, yes.
They will be good and efficient, I'm sure. Thank you.
Good morning again. What an impressive building, Minister. It's really great. Yeah, it would be great. So it's possible to visit such a huge.
It's huge. It's the second biggest building in the world.
Yeah, but I'm very impressed. Yeah, very impressed. Yeah. Hopefully it get back to your wealth and.
It's used by the Parliament now, the Chamber of the Senate and the Chamber of Deputies, and now from the Presidency we use it.
Yeah, you're happy to have this. Yeah. It's good when you have a centralized state. Yeah? You know, in Germany, when we have our presidency next year, then we will have in 16 länder, we will have presidency.
It's pretty tough.
Yes, I can tell you, all of our länder, they want to have presidency. They want to be included in the presidency.
It's a tough decision, but it must satisfy everyone.
Yes, but that's but it's okay, we're used to this.
Good morning. Nice to see you again. How are you? Anxious to start with this.
We're looking forward to it. It's a wonderful day today. Thank you.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. If you spend more time in yes, this one is not, should not miss the visit. It's very impressive.
Good morning. Nice to meet you again. It was very good dinner yesterday. Thank you. And the music, yes. I brought you down
Transpose the
Hello. Nice to see you again. Thank you.
Welcome to the Palace of Parliament. Let's have a picture here.
Yes, yes, of course.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good morning. Nice to see you. All is perfect in your organization. I hope we will.
Nice to have you. We're anxious to start the works in the council.
Very good. I was responsible for 2000. And they had also opportunity to do.
It's nice to see you again.
It was very nice dinner yesterday. I think it was musical.
That is a very good question. Last year?
Last year, I don't know
You
the
had-
answer either. No, no, I'm afraid I don't. I've been too
You
busy
don't
doing
know
other things.
How many
but,
kilometers of highway do you want to build this year?
do we want to build this year?
Yeah.
No, the reason is probably not very much because most of our investment is in upgrading the existing network and widening out to 4 lanes to provide more capacity. So actual new roads will be quite a low number for the
But
UK.
how many kilometers you have in total of
That's-
highways?
That's a figure I don't have in my head at the moment.
No, you don't have the number. Thank you
No.
very much.
Good morning, Minister. Thanks for meeting at Mark Frikan from the Netherlands. Thank you for the dinner last night.
Highways for this year?
No, Luxembourg, I'm from Luxembourg.
Yeah,
No, we invest in rail.
in rail.
Yes, rail and then free public transport and cycling.
And how many kilometers you have in total of highways? Let's talk about a little.
Well, the kilometers in Luxembourg are relative. And as well, the thing is, we go abroad a lot now. The importance is to go to cross-border.
We finished it last year 60 kilometers of highway in Romania. What do you think? It's a good number?
That's relative. It's a large country, so of course, but there has to be, I guess, more infrastructure, but use it as well smartly.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you again.
It was great dinner last night.
I'm glad you enjoyed
Thank
it.
you for the hospitality. Good discussion. By the way, the political speak to the committee, so no vote.
It's the first time you came to the Palace of Parliament?
Yeah, first time. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. See you inside. See you inside.
Yeah. How are you? Everything?
Everything is well.
I don't know. Thank you.
Let's have a It's our pleasure. Hope you enjoy your stay here. Nice to see you again. Welcome to the Palace of Parliament. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for the presence here. See you inside.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Palace of Parliament.
Thank you.
Please, let's take that before we start the debates. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And now?
have in plan in your country for this year?
Planning.
Yeah, planning.
We are building about 200 kilometers, and we will finish this year about 40, 60.
200 last year?
No, it's in the building, in the construction. Yes.
200 kilometers for this year.
No, this year it's in the process.
In a process.
Yeah.
Where are you from? Sorry.
Czech Republic.
Thank you. To open.
Actually, none,
None?
because next year we'll be open some stretches of the highway in our country. So for the 2019, so far none.
And the next year you have in plan?
Yes, next year there are some stretches, approximately 30 kilometers. 30?
30?
Yeah.
Where are you
30
from?
Slovakia, it's a small country.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Only good memories.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Minister.
Welcome to the Palace of Parliament. Let's have a picture. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Plan for your country this year?
Where we'll,
To open.
well, we are planning to invest 700 billion Swedish crowns the coming 10 years. So there are a lot of railways, of course, but also motorways.
But this year, highways, the number of kilometers, you have one?
I don't have the exact figure this year, but mostly it's railway investments that we're doing. Thank you very much.
How many kilometers do you have in total? Thank you.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you again. Welcome to the Palace of Parliament.
Thank you for a very good dinner yesterday.
I hope you enjoyed it.
Yes, I enjoyed it, and especially the music.
How many kilometers of highway do you have in plan for your country this year to open?
I haven't figured it out yet, but we're making some basic.
2,000?
No, I haven't figured that out.
Okay.
But we're doing some very important roads connecting rural areas with cities.
But railway? The railway?
We don't have a railway. No.
Where are you from?
Cyprus.
But I want to ask you how many kilometers of highway you have in total till now?
Well, I haven't figured it out. I can give you the information later. Thank you.
Welcome to the Palace of Parliament. It's nice to see you again.
Thank you very much for the lovely
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yes. You came with a Thank you. And see you in school.
Ăștia să înceapă la 9 jumate.
Just a second, please. Welcome to the Palatul Parlamentului. Please, thank you for the hospitality. It's excellent. It's our pleasure. And I hope you enjoy it.
low is near because just every brings negative surprise. It's difficult to turn it around. Or at least not some cases.
impressive. Tell like Instagram. Yeah. Wow.
Postal și un card aici.
Bun, acolo vin.
Doamnelor și domnilor, România este astăzi gazda unui eveniment de o importanță majoră, ale cărui obiective, multimodalitatea, mobilitatea și coeziunea, sunt elemente care reprezintă în prezent unele dintre cele mai provocatoare chestiuni pentru politica de transport din Europa. În cadrul evenimentului vom avea ocazia să discutăm despre provocările, strategiile și soluțiile pentru obținerea unei mobilități curate, sigure și accesibile pentru cetățenii Europei. Pentru România, calitatea de președinte a Consiliului Uniunii Europene presupune o extraordinară oportunitate de a-și demonstra aderența la valorile europene, de a-și reafirma susținerea cu privire la proiectul european și de a contribui în mod direct la procesul de consolidare a acestuia. Păstrarea unității proiectului european și a integrității politicilor europene în beneficiul cetățenilor europeni reprezintă obiectivul strategic în jurul căruia gravitează întregul proces de derulare a președinției noastre la Consiliul Uniunii Europene. Primul mandat al României la președinția Consiliului Uniunii Europene se derulează în contextul unor procese de anvergură care vor modela Uniunea Europeană. Procesul de ieșire a Marii Britanii din Uniunea Europeană, tranziția spre un nou ciclu legislativ ca urmare a alegerilor europene și, implicit, finalul de mandat al Comisiei Europene și al Parlamentului European, respectiv discuțiile privind reperele și documentele strategice ale Uniunii post-2019. În acest context, vreau în primul rând să vă mulțumesc dumneavoastră, doamnă comisar, și tuturor colegilor de la Comisia Europeană, de la Consiliul Uniunii Europene și Parlamentul European, pentru eforturile depuse în vederea soluționării problemelor din domeniul transporturilor. Este bine de știut că acum, la jumătatea mandatului președinției României, 11 dosare legislative în domeniul transporturilor au fost închise și s-a ajuns la o înțelegere comună cu Parlamentul privind mecanismul european de interconectare, dosar sectorial parte a MFF, ceea ce ne îndreptățește să gândim pozitiv în perspectivă și pentru acest domeniu. Prioritățile președinției române se înscriu în sfera următorului moto: coeziunea, înțeleasă ca unitate, egalitate de tratament și convergență, iar programul președinției se axează pe 4 priorități principale: Europa convergenței, Europa mai sigură, Europa ca actor global puternic și Europa valorilor comune. Astfel, Europa convergenței, unul dintre pilonii principali ai agendei președinției României la Consiliul Uniunii Europene, presupun ca activitatea în domeniul transporturilor să vizeze obiective cheie privind promovarea inovării și digitalizării, obiective privind consolidarea pieței interne, precum și cele privind dezvoltarea unui transport durabil mai puțin poluant. Președinția va urmări să contribuie la asigurarea convergenței și coeziunii europene în scopul unei dezvoltări durabile și echitabile pentru toți cetățenii și statele membre prin creșterea competitivității și reducerea decalajelor de dezvoltare, promovarea conectivității și a digitalizării, stimularea antreprenoriatului și consolidarea politicii industriale europene. Sunt bine cunoscute provocările existente în acest domeniu, cărora președinția română le răspunde cu responsabilitate, prin identificarea soluțiilor optime de compromis, atât la nivelul Consiliului, cât și în negocierile cu Parlamentul European și cu Comisia Europeană, pe marginea pachetelor legislative privind mobilitatea. În cadrul negocierilor pentru propuneri legislative din pachetele de mobilitate, președinția română și-a propus atingerea unor obiective precum îmbunătățirea modului de funcționare a pieței transportului rutier de mărfuri și eficientizarea desfășurării operațiunilor de transport rutier, îmbunătățirea condițiilor sociale și de muncă ale lucrătorilor, un nivel ridicat al siguranței rutiere, stabilirea unor reguli care să consolideze concurența loială pe piață, eficientizarea controlului și aplicarea unitară și nediscriminatorie a normelor, diminuarea birocrației și a sarcinilor administrative pentru întreprinderi, un grad mai ridicat de implementare a digitalizării în domeniu. Proiectele legislative, incluse pe agenda președinției noastre, contribuie la atingerea dezideratului european privind crearea unui transport modern, mai puțin poluant, mai sigur. Implementarea acestor proiecte va stimula piața vehiculelor cu emisii zero și cu emisii scăzute și va spori competitivitatea industriei europene pe piețele mondiale aflate în expansiune pentru aceste noi tehnologii. Astăzi, președinția română a Consiliului Uniunii Europene va aborda provocările corespunzătoare din sectorul transporturilor și va explora opțiunile pentru o cale strategică, eficientă și în continuă transformare. Pentru a atinge aceste obiective și pentru a răspunde cerințelor politicilor europene privind domeniul transporturilor, sunt necesare alte politici și măsuri pe care nu le putem aduce la îndeplinire fără a îmbunătăți siguranța, sănătatea și calitatea vieții cetățenilor europeni. Doamnelor și domnilor, sub tema generoasă a evenimentului de astăzi, noi provocări pentru o mai bună mobilitate și coeziune, președinția României va aduce în atenție câteva teme de interes din domeniul transporturilor la nivelul Uniunii Europene, cum ar fi multimodalitatea, viitorul mobilității în Uniunea Europeană și consolidarea conectivității și a coeziunii prin intermediul rețelei TEN-T, care vor face obiectul dezbaterilor de astăzi în cadrul celor 3 sesiuni. Prima sesiune de lucru, multimodalitatea, este dedicată unei precizări generale a evoluției în ultimii 4 ani din domeniul multimodalității, din perspectiva reglementărilor, recomandărilor, standardelor și investițiilor din domeniu. Pentru a sublinia valoarea adăugată a strategiilor multimodale și pentru a pune multimodalitatea în centrul atenției, Comisia a desemnat în anul 2018 drept anul multimodalității, un an al inițiativelor întreprinse pentru consolidarea multimodalității și integrarea tuturor modurilor de transport în cadrul sistemului de transport al Uniunii Europene. Conceptul de multimodalitate a apărut ca soluție pentru rezolvarea unor probleme de eficientizare a lanțurilor logistice de transport, precum reducerea costurilor totale ale transportului, creșterea vitezei de deplasare pe întreg lanțul logistic, creșterea accesibilității lanțului de transport. Politica Uniunii Europene în domeniul transporturilor vizează o formă de mobilitate durabilă, eficientă, din punct de vedere energetic și respectând mediul. Aceste obiective pot fi atinse prin utilizarea transportului multimodal, care combină în mod optim diferitele moduri de transport, exploatând punctele tari ale fiecărui mod de transport și minimizând punctele slabe ale acestuia. Angajamentul Comisiei Europene de a reduce emisiile și congestionarea traficului, dar și acela de a oferi un transport european sigur și o industrie competitivă pe piața mondială, a condus la elaborarea unor inițiative legislative și de politică ce vizează promovarea funcționării sectorului transporturilor ca un sistem complet integrat. Temele cheie pe care se concentrează programul multimodalității includ digitalizarea, internalizarea costurilor externe, programele de finanțare pentru sprijinirea infrastructurii multimodale și a inovării fizice și digitale, protejarea drepturilor pasagerilor în călătoriile multimodale. În susținerea acțiunilor propuse de Comisia Europeană, activitatea de până acum a Președinției României în domeniul transporturilor s-a concretizat inclusiv prin închiderea dosarului legislativ privind ghișeul unic european și directiva privind pregătirea și perfecționarea personalului navigant maritim. De asemenea, vreau să amintesc faptul că proiectele legislative privind informațiile electronice în cadrul transportului de mărfuri Smart Tente și drepturile pasagerilor în transportul feroviar sunt dosare prezente pe agenda președinției noastre cu obiectivul de a obține progrese semnificative. A doua sesiune, viitorul mobilității în Uniunea Europeană, se concentrează asupra viitorului mobilității în Uniunea Europeană în ceea ce privește viziunea strategică pe termen lung pentru o economie prosperă, modernă, competitivă și neutră, dar și rolului digitalizării în planificarea și gestionarea unei strategii europene pentru o mobilitate durabilă și o mai bună coordonare a eforturilor statelor membre de reducere a emisiilor de gaze. În cadrul acestei sesiuni, doamna Grațiela Gavrilescu, viceprim-ministru și ministru al mediului, este invitată să ne spună câteva cuvinte despre strategia Uniunii Europene pe termen lung privind schimbările climatice. A treia sesiune de lucru se va concentra asupra consolidării conectivității și coeziunii prin intermediul rețelei TNT. Realizarea unei rețele transeuropene de transport extinsă și conectată contribuie la consolidarea coeziunii teritoriale, la accesibilitatea și conectivitatea tuturor regiunilor Uniunii, inclusiv a regiunilor periferice, ceea ce va stimula investițiile, va reduce decalajele de dezvoltare și va asigura tranziția către o mobilitate prietenoasă cu mediul. În cadrul sesiunii de lucru, Miniștrii Transporturilor își vor reafirma angajamentele față de punerea în aplicare a obiectivelor și a termenelor din cadrul acestui proiect. Dezbaterile pe acest subiect important vor continua și în 28 martie, în cadrul conferinței TNT, la care sunt așteptați peste 600 de participanți. Doamnelor și domnilor, prin eforturile tuturor partenerilor instituționali implicați, România este astăzi pe deplin angajată în asigurarea continuității agendei Uniunii Europene. În calitate de ministru al transporturilor, sunt profund onorat să deschid lucrările Consiliului Informal al Miniștrilor Transporturilor, eveniment organizat sub președinția română a Consiliului Uniunii Europene, și vă invit să discutăm subiecte de interes incluse pe agenda. Vă mulțumesc și dau cuvântul mai departe pentru început doamnei comisar Violeta Bulc pentru a prezenta rezultatele anului multimodalității.
Thank you very much, dear Alessandro, dear ministers, dear delegations, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me express the compliments to the Romanian presidency. So far you've delivered a very tangible result, and I wish you well till the end of your mandate. I would also like to thank you deeply for inviting me here today to share my views on multimodality. And indeed, the year of multimodality has just come to an end, and it's really a good time to take stock and to see how we can build on the conclusions of this very productive year. But before I put everything into the context, I would like to share the big picture with you, the picture that brings everything together and it makes sense on the long run, and also gives you, hopefully, some additional guidance and support in your future steps. What I'm talking about is the vision of Transport Union. which we are justifying, and I hope that this will be one of the key topics for the next Commission. As you can see, and I hope you can see the picture of the transport union model, people are at the heart of everything we do. People as pedestrians, passengers, employers, employees, people as innovators, investors, citizens living next to transport routes. All this in different roles, the same people, all the time. And that's what I'm inviting you to keep in mind, no matter what you do, we do together. And of course, multimodality is very closely linked to all the cornerstones of this model. First one to mention is a smart mix of different modes that helps decarbonization of transport, above all to reduce the negative externalities. And just bear in mind that transport causes 1,000 billion euros per year of negative externalities. That is 7% of European GDP. And detailed report per country you will receive in June on the formal council. So I hope that will equip you with a good tool to introduce the necessary changes on a local level, of course, to drive these negative externalities down and to use this money for more engaging and more bright projects. The next element, and I hope you will see soon the model on your screen, the next element, digitalization, is, of course, in this period, as we are entering in the fourth industrial revolution, one of the core enablers for multimodality as well, for freight and passengers alike. Through digitalization, we actually reshaping the relationship between stakeholders, changing business models, changing social models, changing behavior models. So this really drives the change behind. And I hope we will take a real advantage of that. And of course help the transport stakeholders to develop. Otherwise, other stakeholders will move into this sector because it's really attractive. And through digital means, it becomes accessible to others as well. So it is our responsibility to make sure that we continue to develop the sector for the benefits of the users. Of course, all this would not bear fruits without good investments, smart investments. And these investments are needed on all levels, in physical infrastructure to connect modes, and of course in digital infrastructure to enable the seamless digital layer. And that's why we need the support of CEF instruments and CEF program, for which we have proposed in the new budget 42.3 billion euros, out of which 30.6 are supposed to go to transport. I think this is a huge step forward. Together, all of us, we managed to put transport back on a political agenda. Keep it there. Keep your voice up and justify the investments in transport, because as particularly in Romania, you know that if you're not connected, you cannot flourish, you cannot develop. So connectivity and transport means are the enablers of economy, of social development, and overall prosperity. But let me remind you, it's not only CEF that plays the role. We have developed in this mandate innovative financial tools that started to really deliver for transport. At the beginning, nobody believed that we're going to be good consumers. But look at the results. We are way above 30 billion euros of additional investments. And the way how it's going, we're going to be close to 50 billion euros by the end of the year. So use the innovative financial tools, especially for the new emerging multimodal and interoperable services. Use blending mechanisms to enlarge the investments in transport, and multimodality provides you a really good framework for that. It justifies the investments really well, because it builds on efficiency of better use of what you already have. That's what multimodality delivers. It's a better use, more efficient use of the existing infrastructure, and with a smart top-up, a new services that can be offered on the top. Last but not least, the model shows you that everything we do, of course, we do also to boost the competitiveness and to strengthen the global leadership of EU, also in this sector. I know that so many times, many try to tell you that we are lagging behind. I'm confident with all the steps that we have undertaken and the steps you will continue to push for. We are putting very strongly European solutions on the global agenda, and we have more and more people who are joining our coalition. And the results are tangible in maritime, in aviation, and also in autonomous mobility. So let's continue to stay bold and brave and engage and make smart decisions, smart investments, and push for innovation in this field. So based on this model, we developed in the year of multimodality, architecture for multimodality. Are we going to get slides?
We have sent them, so we are trying to put them in.
Okay, unfortunately, I'm speaking without the slides, who were supposed to be a big support for this speech. But do you recall the 5 layers of digitalization? And this is what I'm referring to when I speak about multimodal architecture. Infrastructure layer, then data layer, then application layer, service layer, and network layer. And all of these layers, of course, are very much applicable for transport as well. And we are acting in all of these areas, and we have responsibility in order to ensure that all these layers are developing and delivering services and solutions for our clients. On one hand, and please bear this in mind, on one hand, we have to, of course, allow vertical interoperability and ensure that these different layers really fit together and service each other. But there is a big danger that through that we create monopolies. So it is our responsibility that we interfere with regulatory interventions and ensure open application products, application service, network, interfaces, in order to decompose monopoly and to ensure that each layer can also act individually and then be integrated in vertical solutions in an interoperable and open philosophy. This is our responsibility, and this is one of the core elements of multimodality in order to ensure that it will develop in the future. So please keep this in mind. Let me focus a little bit on the data layer, because everybody's today talking about it. And we are, of course, working very closely with our colleagues from a digital agenda, because everything that is happening in the framework of digital agenda will very much affect the way how digitalization will behave in transport. And there are 2 areas where we have already facilitated access to data layer through regulation, and use it, communicate it, and encourage especially startups and SMEs to be very much part of this transformation. First, in 2017, we adopted the delegated regulation on EU-wide multimodal travel information services. We will see concrete benefits very shortly. This year, we'll see access to data on timetables, access nodes, and accessibility for passengers with reduced mobility for all modes. In 2020, information on bike sharing and car sharing stations, vehicle facilities, standard fares for all modes, and how and where to buy tickets will be added. In 2021, we will see improved information on the cycling network and estimated travel time, again, for all modes. They might look small, but they are very important big steps. So please build on them. Second, in the area of rail freight, we have adopted an implementing regulation that requires railway undertakings to give multimodal terminals and other service providers access to certain dynamic data, such as expected time of arrival. The regulation will apply as of June this year, so we will see results still this year. And as you know, data are modern fuel of transport. So we need to continue to walk this path together in the future as well, to allow startups and SMEs to deliver disruptive ideas and disruptive solutions to our portfolio, because transport needs that. And through digitalization, it's for the first time that we can really engage with these very dynamic and very innovative communities. And that is an opportunity for every single member state to also get much stronger involved in the European solutions. But saying that brings me to the very important next topic, which is standards, interfaces, and interoperability, which are the key to make data sharing possible. And I'm proud to report that we have made a lot of progress here as well. Recently, we reached a political agreement on European Maritime Single Window. This clears the way for us to introduce a truly European and fully harmonized environment for ship reporting. Incredible efficiency gain, over 60%. So thank you very much for a dedicated work and commitments and deliverables that you all were part of. A little bit in figures, because they're impressive. This will reduce administrative burden by up to 725 million euros for the shipping sector by 2030, and cut reporting times on half. Our proposal on electronic freight transport information is just as revolutionary. Don't underestimate it. This will completely reshape the way how we set the business models. The business efficiency gain of zero paper for all transport modes will be really substantial. 20 to 27 billion euros saved in administrative costs by 2040, when everything will be fully implemented. You should be proud of that. That is an enormous gain. And companies are asking for this, and the Parliament has just signed its strong support in plenary. So I urge you, Member States, to embrace positive change and reach a general approach in June that we can really start delivering. I mean, all logistic operators are hungry for this file to go through. And the Digital Transport and Logistics Forum is planning to go even further. They are inviting us to walk the path with them. The aim is to build a common and interoperable data layer for freight multimodality, and to help define technical and governance rules for seamless information sharing. And I'm confident that this voluntary cooperation will carry out a long way. And they organize themselves. All we need to do is embrace it. Yeah? For example, on the passenger side, integrated ticketing and payment would make multimodal journeys much more attractive. A study we commissioned is clear. A single most important barrier is a lack of cooperation between operators, notably on data sharing. And the study recommends creating a code of conduct that sets out a clear framework. I think we need to discuss this among ourselves. When should data be shared? Who owns the customer relationship? Can or how traditional mobility operators work with digital integrators? Please don't avoid these questions. That brings me to the topic of level playing field. Multimodality will not deliver its full potentials without a level playing field between different modes. The existing Combined Transport Directive is the only legal instrument entirely dedicated to leveling the playing field. Our proposal to revise this directive intended to clarify the definition of combined transport and eligibility for support and to simplify enforcement. Regretfully, as you know, the Council has been unable to reach an agreement that mirrors our ambition and those of the European Parliament. So the Council's position, as reflected in a general approach, would mean reduced support compared to today and potentially a shift back to long-distance road transport. This is a lost opportunity, and for the time being, the Commission will therefore focus on enforcing the existing directive if necessary through court proceedings. So at the December Council, I briefly informed you about our ongoing and truly groundbreaking study on the internalization of external costs. The overall external costs of transport, as I mentioned already before, are huge, 1,000 billion euros per year. And the users and polluters do not pay for their costs in total, not in any of the modes, We will soon have the final result by country and by mode, and we then need a broad policy debate. To what extent should we internalize external costs? Who should pay for it? Environment, society, or the polluters and users? So facilitating multimodality and especially promoting less polluting modes and public transport will be part of the equation. And of course, I cannot but say a few words about funding. Research and infrastructure investment is essential for promoting multimodality. We have found a number of mobility as a service research projects through Shift to Rail and under Horizon 2020. And I would like to thank Anna, who's here today with us, the Finnish minister, who really helped us to push for this concept and promote it throughout the entire EU. On the infrastructure side, funding requests for multimodal freight platforms or access to such terminals was again very high in 2018, with over 35 projects proposal requesting close to 190 million euros. An additional 23 projects proposals were submitted for multimodal innovation and passengers projects, requesting more than 120 million in funding. So as I said before, we will continue to support that, but please use, besides the grants, also the blending tools and EFSI. These projects are perfect for this kind of financing, and let's not lose the opportunity to bring even more investments to transport. Before I conclude, I do have to bring yet another topic, which is of an essential importance for passengers, and that is multimodal passengers' rights. They need to stay a priority for the future. Unfortunately, we have not been able to deliver completely on this, but we are bringing the awareness and rising issues related to the multimodal passengers' rights. Because today's mode-oriented approach, based on 5 different regulations, is not helpful for multimodal passengers and for integrated services. If a journey is disrupted, who is responsible for the problems encountered? Which authority should be contacted when problems arise between 2 modes? Who do people turn to? Who do you turn to when you find yourself stuck somewhere in the middle of the journey? It's personal. So our study on multimodal passengers' rights presented last month suggests that a mix between soft law measures and a new legislative instrument would provide the best balance between passenger welfare and profit for operators. Our work will be to get the balance right. And I'm looking forward to launching this reflection, building on the paper presented by Finland in advance of its presidency and on the impact assessment that my services are putting together. My dear colleagues, I could continue with a list of everything we managed to achieve together in the last 4 years. But let me stop here, because we could discuss the whole day the fourth railway package. We could discuss the whole day the positive consequences of inland waterways information systems, as we saw yesterday in the opening or the blessing of the new ship here on Danube River, and similar. We achieved together really a lot. You should be proud. But because I'm really proud that we were able to do that in cooperation. I know it wasn't always easy, and we are not in a full agreement on everything. But the cooperation and real open dialogues were excellent opportunity to practice democracy, which I hope we will continue, because that's what the European Union is all based on. And I really, really wish you well to build on these excellent results of the year of multimodality. And now let's just continue to deliver and continue to address the needs of our customers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Commissioner. And I wanted to assure you that the transport was always high